Bueno, mi gente, it's Dina with another video, and today I wanted to talk about getting my tubes tied, basically tube ligation, however you want to say it, sterilization. There's like different names for them. So basically, I got my tubes tied, and as y'all know, I already kind of spoke about my whole birthing story and all that. So basically, after giving birth, I had like about probably about 2 hours or so, and then I had to go into surgery, which was kind of a mistake. So I'm like, if you want to get your tubes tied, I would suggest like waiting at least 2 days, then getting your tubes tied, or like waiting until like later on and getting your tubes tied, because I watched other people's videos that waited like later on, and they seemed like they were more chill about the situation. For me, unfortunately, it seemed more painful. But it was like 2 hours after I had my baby, and after those 2 hours, they came in there and then made sure that I wanted for sure to do the operation on myself. And I was like, okay. And they were like, okay, so let's get you prepped and everything. So the anesthesiologist, or whatever you want to call it, the guy that basically gives you medicine to numb your body and stuff, he came in the room, and they decided to go ahead and keep my epidural in, because y'all know I always use epidural whenever I give birth to a baby. So that happened, and he came in, he did what he had to do. He added like more medicine, but it was like a stronger version of what I already had. So he injected that into my epidural. I could feel like a cooling sensation, but he said that it was actually a warming sensation. It's just that your body feels it as a cooling sensation. And he was like, all right. And he was like, all right, you're ready to go. They basically added more stuff to my body, like little patches and stuff. I don't know exactly what those were, but if you're a nurse, you probably already know what those things were. But they added more patches on my body, and then they basically put a hairnet on my head and went ahead and took me into the operation room where they're gonna do the tube ligation, tie my tubes. So basically, the way that they did it is that they did a small incision. So I'm gonna probably insert a picture of how it looks. It doesn't look that good, but you know, that's how it looks. And they basically do a small incision under your belly button, and under your belly button, that's where they go in through. There's different kinds, of course, but that's the one that the nurse chose to get me. There's one that you could basically get like almost a C-section, and then a cut under a little small incision under your belly button. There's another one where they do like cuts on either side of your like tummy, and then after that they do a cut, like I think it's under your belly button. So it's like different ways. Your doctor could choose whatever way they want to do it, and that's the way my doctor chose to do it, which seems somewhat better. But I gotta say, if you have a C-section and you get your tubes tied, I feel like it's easier because you already had that cut done already. So you know, it's right there, so they can just quickly move to the other section, which is getting your tubes tied. So it's that. After that, they took me to the room, they got me prepared, they asked me a few questions. Also, they didn't let me eat anything. She said I could drink like just a small amount of water, but she was like, I would prefer for you to eat ice chips, and she was like, don't really eat anything. And so it's kind of sucked because, you know, I was in the hospital for a good while. Now I'm still not being able to eat anything. So that kind of sucked. After that, they started prepping me. They went ahead and started doing the surgery, which was basically cutting that incision, like I said before. But the worst part about it, like y'all, I could feel every tug, every pull, every like cut into my body. and it was just so painful. But the worst part about it, I was basically like high on the medicine that they gave me, so it was kind of like I couldn't really say, hey, it hurts. So I was just kind of laying there like while they're like tugging and pulling, and like there was one part where he pulled it a little bit way too hard, and I was like, oh, and they were like, they stopped real quick, and they were like, is it hurting, is it hurting? And I was like, yeah. So the guy that was giving me the medicine, he went ahead and put even more stuff in there. So now I'm like just laying on a table like this, and like I want to go to sleep at the same time, and like I can still feel the tugging. Like I feel like none of that helped. I feel like what they should have done was just put me to sleep, and that would have been good. But you know, sometimes when they put you to sleep, there's a risk of you know, different things could happen. You could go into like have a whole heart attack, or you know, just anything could happen because you're not aware of what, you know, the medicine is going to do to you. You're not aware of what's even happening because you're knocked out. So they could be doing anything to you. That happened, and I was just laying there like just like basically like half asleep, half awoke. They were just tugging and pulling at it. Eventually it finished. I think the surgery was like about 30 minutes maybe, but my husband said that I was probably gone like for 30 minutes to an hour. But you know, the prepping and all that stuff takes up time too, so it was like 30 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, to do the surgery. And after that they basically picked me up, but I couldn't pick myself up. I was trying to, but they were like, no, don't do that, we'll do it. So they picked me up and put me over and to the one that they roll off. So basically the room where I did my surgery is basically the same room where you do your C-section, where they have all the lights and stuff. So it's the same room. So basically after they did that, they moved me over basically where I'm gonna stay for the 3 days that I stayed at the hospital. So like the whole time they're rolling me out of the room, I'm in the hallway and I'm just basically like this. Like I was so tired, like, and then plus I think it was the drugs too that had me like that. But I was just so tired because, you know, I went from giving birth and having a baby and, you know, having contractions to like having this surgery. That's why I say it's better to wait, because it's like so much happening to your body. It's like you don't get a break. And then the worst part, once I got into my room, like I was like basically a fall risk patient, so they had to basically help me and stuff. But like after an hour or two, they basically had me stand up and go to the restroom. But you know, of course the doctor, well, the nurse helped me to get up and all that. But man, it hurted so bad, like the cut and everything. I was trying to breastfeed, but every time I had to breastfeed, I had to have the baby right here, like on top of my stomach. And oh my gosh, it was hurting so bad. Like the pressure of the baby, like the baby's not even that heavy, but still the pressure, like it's, my belly button is right there, and then the baby is like basically sitting on top of where my belly button is at. So it was hurting while I was trying to breastfeed, and I was like, oh Lord. And then the worst part is, you know how when the doctors have to the nurses have to come in and they have to push like the area where your belly button is so they could remove extra blood or anything that's inside of your body. Well, they basically had to press right there where my belly button was at, and I was like, oh my God, I'm about to die. And the lady was like, I know. She was like, I'm sorry, but we have to do it. And I was like, why? So I would say if I waited 2 days, you know, I wouldn't have to go through that, like somebody like poking at my belly button. Man, y'all, if y'all ever had surgery and you know the area is very sensitive, and then for someone to be like poking, like pressing down on it, ooh, that was horrible. So that happened. So at that point, I struggled to basically sleep because any position that I laid in was painful. I struggled to get up because you know how when you get up, you gotta use your ab muscles, which then contracts that little tear right there that they did. Well, not tear, but the cut that they did. So that hurt it. There was a point where I was in the restroom trying to take a bath, and my mom was helping me out, and she didn't realize I was standing behind her, and she like basically elbows that same area, and I just fall over like, and she's like, oh my gosh. And she was like, what are you doing standing behind me like that? And I was like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. And so that happened. But yeah, it's not the easiest experience. Getting your tubes tied, that's very like the recuperation period is just a struggle. You can't really do everything that you want to do. Like, I feel like if I would have just had my baby and like, you know, not done the surgery, I would have been good. But since, you know, I did the surgery, now I had to recuperate from that, and like it took weeks to recuperate from it. And yeah, and then I was also scared to take off my bandages, and like I was like, I don't want to take these things off because it hurts. And because you have to clean it and stuff. But I'll basically show y'all a picture and y'all can see how it looked. But the picture that I showed, you know, let y'all see, was basically a picture of like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after, when I was finally able to like actually take out the bandage and not be grossed out by how it looked. Because when I tried initially to take it off, I was struggling to take it off. And then when I looked at it, I was just like, because it was like swollen and purple, and it just didn't look right. So yeah, that experience was not the best, but at least I don't have to worry about possibly getting pregnant. But you know, there's still a possibility because it's happened before. But you know, I'm just glad I got it done. I was able to, you know, recuperate. And yeah, that's my basically story of my tubes getting tied. So if y'all like the story, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So, Jenny Deuces, adios.